Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Bleeding Crypto's Market Update. Today is Wednesday, November 6th, 6 a.m. local time. I hope you're having a good day, morning, or afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Let me start off by giving my disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. This is to be used for entertainment purposes only. This is for your fantasy paper trading. All right, guys, this is going to be a different chart that we've been using, because obviously the one that we've been using is blown out. We did not get the retracement. We went and blew out the lower high. We put it a higher high, and we are now in price discovery. We are now in an area where we actually have data to formulate a pretty good idea of what's going to happen next, though it's not a guarantee. As an analyst, you look back at the data and you look at the behavior of the data, and you look at the same time frame, the same type of developments that are happening now that have happened in the past. This is not nothing new. Breaking all-time high is not something that isn't new. So based on that, I want to take you back into history to show you what is a possibility. Does it have to play out exactly the same? No, it doesn't have to do anything. But again, as an analyst, you look at the data and you try to form up probabilities. And then based on the validation of those probabilities, then you can have an idea of where the next move is going to take us. So the fact that we already broke all-time high and basically got into price discovery, let's look back. But let's go back. Let's go back not to the 2020 run, but back to the start of the 2017 run, which started back in 2016. However, what I want to do is I want to compare apples to apples. This bull run of 2013, this was the top, $1,242. So what I want to do is compare what happened to the price action when we broke all-time high, and what was the reaction. So what I did here, I went ahead and just snapped those lines already. So here, if you look, right here, we came right up. We broke all-time high. We had a little bit of a correction here. Then we hit that line again, and off she went. So we did have a small pullback here. Actually, you know what? It's not technically a small pullback. It was a 40% pullback. Okay, 33% pullback. So we did have a pullback. And then off she went. Now, when she went, it went for 7 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 weeks straight up. And watch this. From this point here to here, 232%. If you just mark the just a breakout of the all-time high, 137%. Now, fast forward, and you look at 2017, and we had a top of 19,804, and look at the behavior of what it did then. We hit all-time high. We did have a correction, a small one, 11%, and then she took off. And this is the interesting part. I'm always preaching about back tests. This didn't back test at all. I went to the daily. I went all the way down to the 4-hour time frame and did not see a back test. It just went. When it cleared 19,804, it went all the way to $41,000. It went up to $41,993.84. So that gives it, just from the breakout point, from this, let me take off the magnet, just from the breakout point to that high, 112%. So now looking at where we're at now, could we get a small pullback? Yeah, we could. But after that pullback, what are we expecting? Each time we had a little bit less. The first time was 137. The second time was what? 112. Let's give it 80%. Be conservative. Be conservative. What would that represent in a possibility of if we do this correction, if and when, I don't know how deep it's going to be, but if and when we do, what does that look like if we do a conservative 80%? Not to be too, taking away that every cycle has been a little less. That puts us at about 80% right there, about $132,000. Now, is it going to happen? I don't know. I'm an analyst. Take a look at the previous runs, take a look at the previous behavior, and try to assimilate that here into the current price action with what we have. How deep this correction is going to be, I don't know that. The last two, this one was 11%, and the other one was 33%. So this is going to be pretty much up to whatever the market wants to do. But my point is not so much the correction. My point is the reaction of what happens once we break all-time high and where we could go. So it's something to pay attention to, because what often happens is we get into the mindset that it's going to retrace, 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 it's going to retrace. And guess what? It just goes. Just look at these daily time frames. Look at this. This is on the daily. Back here, look at the way she moved. Look at the way she moved. Pumped, consolidate, pump, consolidate, pump, consolidate, pump, wick down fast. I'm sure I clear some high leverage longs. Up, 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 up. And then you get that correction. Comes back up again, knocks out all the shorts, knocks out all the longs, make sure everything's clear. Look at that. Drop, knocks down the longs. Pumps right back up where the drop started, knocks out all the shorts. Drops again, knocks out all the longs. Pumps here, probably got really heavy again on those longs. They come back one more time to basically shake everyone out, and then up, 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 up. So this type of behavior is something you want to be conscientious about, that they're not going to make it easy. They're going to make it very, very difficult. So moving forward, if and when we get that correction, make sure that you understand that in the past, going back to 2013, after breaking all-time high, once the correction's over, that gives you your last opportunity, and then off she goes. The reason this is important to know is because I'm sure you're going to see if there is a correction, and how deep it is, I don't know, but when there is, if and when there is, you're going to have people are going to overshoot those targets, because they're going to want to buy it. The greed is going to kick in. I want it cheaper. No, I want it cheaper. I want it to go down to 40, 50,000. And as we saw from the previous cycles, those types of pullbacks were not something that you want to overshoot. You want to make sure that you're within a reasonable range, and that you don't try to play that bottom catching. You try to play it very conservative. So I just want to show that to you guys, and give you something a little bit different, kind of going back and what to expect, especially with Trump winning. We all knew that he is very pro-crypto. There's a lot of positivity as far as the market was waiting for him to win. I think even if Kamala would have won, we still would have pumped, but I think it just reinforces that the pump with Trump winning. But the good thing for us as analysts is that we could start looking forward to the reason we're here in crypto, the moves that the crypto puts, and also understand that these moves don't last forever. There's a short window of time in this space that happens every 4 years, and that time may seem like a long time, but in reality, it comes and goes very quickly. And before you know it, market's topped, market's rolling over, you're looking back, and either you're going to be like, oh, finally I did something different than I did last cycle, I took profit, or you're going to be in the other camp, oh my God, what's going on? What happened? I can't believe it's over. I've been in both camps. So hopefully these videos allow you to take a moment, have realistic expectation, and not get too greedy, and try to do the best you can with the time that you have in front of us. Now, many people say that they believe we're going to have an extended cycle. If that happens, great. But take my advice. Do not plan for it. If you plan for it, you're going to get overconfident, and it can cost you dearly. So make sure that you stay conservative, protecting your capital as best as possible, and make sure that you when you get a chance, look left. Go to high time frames, go to the Bitcoin index that has the entire history of Bitcoin, and look at the behaviors. Look at the pullbacks. Look at the way the market makers shake people out of positions so that you can have a realistic expectation thinking you're going to ride a 100x leverage position all the way to all-time high. Probably not going to make it. Unless you've been riding it from the very Pico bottom and you caught that Pico bottom at 49 and you rode it all the way up, then you may be safe. But you know how unrealistic that is. So, all right, guys, I hope this video helps you. And I just wanted to give you a different perspective than what we normally look at. Once we know what that pullback is going to look like, and we start breaking above this high, we'll have another video. But for right now, we just have to wait to see what the reaction of the market is when New York opens. In about 20 minutes from now, New York's going to open. The after hours trading has been bananas, it's been ripping, but it doesn't mean that it's going to continue to rip. So we have to just wait and see what the data tells us. Everyone have a really good day.